besides Prop 15, if there's anything else kind of that might be relevant, because again, we're more focused on redevelopment and development, providing that value for brokers and developers locally here. But, even the developers or the people that develop, everyone wears different hats, or they wear all hats, if that makes sense. So it's like a lot of the developers are also operators of real estate, right? And so there's this kind of, everyone in this niche or industry, a lot of the information we're providing with tax will have relevance. It's not just for incentives for building more housing. So is there anything else you'd like to share or cover that maybe our audience might not have top of mind when it comes to, if being, looking at tax code and understanding how to be very efficient with not being taxed, or looking at your product or asset, so that it doesn't have the tax liability that it normally does.
Oh, I'm trying to think of a good way to answer that.
Well, or any topic you'd like to cover. I mean, I'm kind of with you on Prop 15. I think we really want to, again, educate our viewers, and so that they fully understand what they're voting for and the effects. But as a tax expert, I'm just being a little bit selfish here. I just feel that this is a topic that we haven't covered with any of our previous guests, and you are the resident expert. So I'd like to give the floor to you in whatever topic that you'd like to cover.
Well, I mean, I guess staying on the theme of property taxes, because if someone's listened this way through, they probably have some interest in that topic.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There's another proposition on the ballot that would amend our Constitution in California to change property tax treatment. It's not going to be as exciting for, in the development setting as you were just asking about, but it may be of interest to those who own homes in California, particularly those people who are or plan on owning their home until after they're 55, or plan on passing their property to their children, and would like to try to have the Prop 13 values of those residential properties stick in the family. And that's called Proposition 19. And that's on the ballot. So that's another one to kind of keep your eyes open for. The campaigns on that haven't been as big in terms of money spend and information out there. It basically does two things, Prop 19. Number one is there's a current statute and constitutional provision that allow a homeowner who owns a property to transfer, to sell that property and buy a different one, and transfer their old base year value over to that one.
I see.
So that you don't get reassessed by downsizing, essentially. It was put in there to encourage older citizens to downsize. It's only available if you are 55 and older or a disabled veteran.
That makes sense.
And most of those transfers that you're allowed to do are really just in the same county. There's a few counties that allow you to transfer into theirs, but mostly if you're in LA, you can downsize in LA. If you're in Orange County, you can downsize in Orange County, or what have you. This proposition would allow you to move your base year to any county in the state. So that's the plus. That's on the plus side if you are a homeowner.
Right.
On the downside, current law allows people that either in their family own both residential real property, their actual home. If you own a principal residence, no matter how much it costs, if you are one of the few people with a $50 million personal residence, for example, you could transfer that to your children and they get the base year value on it. So no matter what the value is, you can do it. And I help people with these kind of transfers. For example, like Lakefront Tahoe properties, right? Some of those might have a base year value around 200,000 or 300,000, but they're probably worth 10, 15 million or more.
Well, even more so now, from what I'm hearing.
Especially now when we're all escaping the cities. And then they also, under current law, you can transfer $1 million of assessed value, meaning the taxable Prop 13 value of non-principal residence property. And there's techniques on how to spread that out more. This proposition on the minus side, Prop 19, would take away that piece. So that the parent-child exclusion is limited only to a principal residence. And the other thing it would do is limit the amount you're able to save transferring it by only $1 million. So
Caps
if
out.
you've got this lakefront Tahoe home,
Mhm.
with let's pretend it's assessed at 500,000, it's worth 10 million. It would, after you're done, it would be assessed at, and we can do the math and get it exactly right, but it would be assessed near 9 million. Rather than at the 500,000 under current law.
Yeah.
So Prop 19 may be of interest to people, at least residing in California, that have homes.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll add that.